Good morning. It's Friday, May 8th. Here's what we're working on. A 17-year-old boy has been charged in a triple murder in Brockville.
Hopefully the rain holds up for Art Crawl tonight. I'm Sean Cowan live on James Street North in Hamilton. All the details coming up.
And could a pro women's hockey team be coming to Hamilton?
It is Friday. Finally.
Finally Friday.
Yes.
And a wet start to our Friday morning as well.
Yeah, as you can tell by Sean being out in the pouring rain with the umbrellas, get your brolly out because we have a wet start to our Friday morning, 8th of May here, and it looks like it's going to be a touch milder. Yay.
It does feel a little bit milder this morning than it did yesterday.
It is a little bit. Yesterday we were 3. Today we're sitting at 5, and we're going to climb to 13. Now, 13 is still below seasonal for this time of year, but at least it's better than yesterday. We got to 11 yesterday. Now, it's a wet start. Yes, we do have some showers, but we will see some sunshine for today. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds, and then later on this afternoon, again, chance of showers redeveloping, and tomorrow will be milder. Yeah, we'll hit seasonal daytime high tomorrow, 17, but it'll be unsettled, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. How about a quick check on the roads this morning? 403 and Waterdown Road. Nothing to see there. That's doing fine. So no problems in the Hamilton area right now. We'll show you a few MTO traffic cameras. This is the Red Hill Creek camera. So we're looking at Toronto-bound lanes toward the Skyway Bridge, heading away from us. The top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge for the first morning in quite a few is moving nicely. We don't have that lingering construction around Brand Street that we've had for the past number of days, but yeah, you can see we have wet roads around the area this morning. Here's a look at the QEW east of Bronte. No problems right now. So the forecast in detail, and of course the traffic watch coming up. Right now, the news.
Thank you, Brian. A 17-year-old boy in eastern Ontario is facing 3 counts of first-degree murder. A woman in her 40s and her daughters in their mid-teens to early 20s were found dead in a home in Brockville. Their names haven't been released, but Brockville police say the teen arrested and the victims knew each other. The 17-year-old has also been charged with assaulting a police officer.
A scene of a deadly mass shooting earlier this year in a BC community is going to be torn down. A new high school will be built in Tumbler Ridge. BC Premier David Eby says survivors, families, and community members overwhelmingly support starting fresh with a new campus. Students will continue to learn in portables before being moved into larger modular classrooms later this month. Premier Eby says the federal government is going to help pay for the rebuild, which he called a priority project for the province.
A disturbing trend of bomb threats at schools made its way to our area. Halton police say early yesterday morning, 9 schools in the region received scares prior to staff and students arriving for classes. Halton police say they responded at around 6 a.m. after the 9 schools received threatening emails, which include Garth Webb, Oakville, Trafalgar, Iroquois Ridge, Abbey Park, White Oaks, Holy Trinity, St. Ignatius of Loyola, St. Thomas Aquinas, and Appleby College. Police say officers conducted full sweeps at all facilities and determined the threats were not credible.
We always assume things are credible when they come in, and we take the proper steps to ensure that we are protecting the public. Now, because these calls did come in before students arrived, we did have opportunity to work with the school boards to make sure that those schools were safe. They made the determination at the time that hold and secure was not required.
This follows a string of similar threats made at Toronto schools earlier this week. This past Tuesday, 16 schools in Toronto received non-credible bomb threats, and investigators believe all came from the same people.
Canadian consular officials are now on their way to the Canary Islands to meet with 4 Canadians who are on board a deadly hantavirus-stricken cruise ship. 3 other Canadians are self-isolating under the supervision of their local health authorities in Ontario and Quebec after they were exposed to the virus on board. An infectious disease expert in Hamilton says the risk of this virus spreading in Canada is very low and adds this is very likely not the start of another pandemic.
It's not an efficient virus going from person to person outside of perhaps really close contact settings like this cruise ship may have created. Generally, I would say the likelihood of significant ongoing transmission is low.
The ship on which the Canadians were on board left southern Argentina April 1st, traveling across the Atlantic towards Africa. A 70-year-old man from the Netherlands on board died on the 11th of April. His wife died in a South African hospital on April 26th. A third person died last Saturday, the first to test positive for hantavirus, sparking a suspected outbreak investigation by the World Health Organization. Privacy standards have changed on Instagram. Parent company Meta has removed end-to-end encryption on direct messages on the app after championing the technology as the gold standard for user privacy. End-to-end encryption allowed only the sender and recipient to view messages. By switching it off, as of today, Instagram will now be able to access all direct messages and contacts, something that's being welcomed by children's advocates. You could call this weekend the unofficial start to street festivals in Hamilton, with So Hungry happening on Ottawa Street tomorrow and Art Crawl on James Street North tonight. And that is where we find our Sean Cowan this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. A little bit of a wet morning here today, and so hopefully the rain holds off. I didn't get a chance to listen to Brian's forecast for later on today, but Art Crawl here in Hamilton, roads will actually be closed starting at 5 o'clock tonight, lasting until midnight. Art Crawl happens on the second Friday of every month, but because we are in May, the road closure will start at 5 o'clock tonight. Now, Art Crawl is a time where artists, vendors, musicians, as well as coffee shops and restaurants come right here on the street on James Street North, and really it's a celebration of all things art. Some people set up pretty early, sometimes around noon or 1 p.m. Now, Jesse Warren is a local artist here in Hamilton. You did your first Art Crawl last year, right? What was it like down here?
Oh, it was amazing. You know, Art Crawl, I did my first Art Crawl in 2025, and it was fantastic. You know, I sold a lot of art and met a lot of great people, and it was a great energy and great vibe, yeah.
You know, Jesse, we were just talking, and you actually used to work on the factory line at Ford for most of your career, and you decided to give it up 3 years ago to become a full-time artist. Why did you make that decision?
I think it was something just like always was burning inside of me. You know, the factory is great, but it was just, I wanted to really spread my wings and delve into my creativity. And when I got that opportunity, I just went all in 100%. Yeah.
And what's the vibe down here like for Art Crawl? I know it's a free event for people to come and visit, as well as artists to set up. What does it mean for the arts community in Hamilton?
I think it means so much for the arts community in Hamilton. First of all, it's a very unique thing. The artists get to come out, they get to show their work. There's no fees, there's no big barriers for the artists. So they get to come down, show their work, get some feedback on their work, meet people, and most importantly, get out of their working environment. Yeah, I think that's super important.
Do you usually set up this early or wait till like noon or 1 p.m.?
I usually set up at noon because I like to be early and have the spot that I really like to have. Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jesse. So coming up in 30 minutes, Jesse's going to start some art for us. But Art Crawl down here on James Street North in Hamilton starts at 5 o'clock tonight, and that's when road closures will happen. So the city of Hamilton is recommending people either take public transit here or park on some of the side streets and then walk over. We'll have more details later on. But for now, Annette, back inside to you.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, Shakira has unveiled the official song for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I like it. Shakira released a preview of Die Die as the anthem for this summer's tournament in Canada, the U.S., and Mexico. She posted a 1-minute video on social media from Brazil's Maracana Stadium to tease the track that will be officially released on the 14th. This is Shakira's second official World Cup anthem. Of course, she did Waka Waka, this time for Africa, for the 2010 tournament.
We already know that an American Hockey League team is coming to Hamilton this fall. Now there's word the PWHL could soon announce an expansion franchise for the city. Days after the PWHL granted Detroit an expansion franchise, Hockey News is reporting that players have been given a heads up on the league's growth plan, and Hamilton, Las Vegas, and San Jose are at the top of the list to get new teams. Word is this process is going to kick off on May 28th, so we could hear an announcement very soon. Maggie Flaherty and Haley Skimura scored 24 seconds apart in the second period to give the Montreal Victoire a 2-1 win over the Minnesota Frost and a 2-1 lead in their best-of-5 PWHL semifinal series. And Renee Debian made 27 saves for Montreal, who won a playoff game on the road for the first time in franchise history. Montreal can punch their ticket to the Walter Cup final with a win tonight in Minnesota. Hamilton's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the OKC Thunder are proving why they're the defending NBA champs.
Caruso hits Wallace. Gilgeous-Alexander now against Kennard. His jump shot is good.
SGA and Chet Holmgren each scored 22 points as Oklahoma City bounced the Lakers 125-107 to take a 2-0 lead in their second-round playoff series. The Thunder are now 6-0 this postseason and show no signs of slowing down. LA's Austin Reeves led all scorers with 31 points, while LeBron James chipped in with 23. Cade Cunningham had 25 points and 10 assists in Detroit's 107-97 win over the Cavaliers. The victory gives the Pistons a 2-0 series lead. History will be made tonight when Hamilton's Kia Nurse leads the Toronto Tempo into their first ever WNBA regular season game.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to be on this stage and to be given this platform for growing women's basketball in Canada. There have been a lot of hard days in my journey and a lot of sacrifices that have come with it. And I don't think I necessarily have always shown that because I'm very good at hiding it. And so I think for me, the emotions have really just been like, you deserve this and you've earned this and you've worked towards having the opportunity to be in a franchise like this on home soil.
Nurse says she's treating Game 1 against the Washington Mystics as just another basketball game. The Tempo will tip off the WNBA's 30th anniversary season tonight at 7:30 at Coca-Cola Coliseum. For the first time since 2012, the Philadelphia Flyers hosted a second-round playoff game, and they'd love a do-over.
Stahl short-handed down the wing. Stahl center. Chatfield scores. Jalen Chatfield short-handed goal, and the Hurricanes take the 2-1 lead.
Jalen Chatfield Shorty in the second period stood up as the winner as Carolina grounded the Flyers 4-1 last night. Jordan Stahl and Andrei Svechnikov scored on the power play, and Freddie Anderson had to make just 18 saves to give the Hurricanes their 7th straight playoff win and a 3-0 series lead. Only 4 teams have ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. The Hurricanes, by the way, are the 13th team to start an NHL postseason 7-0, and 8 of the previous 12 went on to win the Stanley Cup.
Okay, time to have a look at traffic here this morning. We're looking pretty good right now. The sun is up. The sun came up at 6:04 this morning, earlier all the time, but it looks fairly cloudy right now. We do have some light rain, so wet roads to contend with. That's a look at the 403 and Waterdown Road area. Nothing to see right there. So let's go to some MTO traffic cameras. QEW Niagara Street. That's going through St. Catharines, as you can see. It's a little bit wet here, but not pouring rain. Top of the Skyway Bridge, definitely, but no problems on the top of the bridge this morning. That's some good news. Guelph line looks good. Toronto bound away from us. Same here east of Royal Windsor. Looks like our Mississauga cameras are back today after being out yesterday. So that's a look at the QEW Sheridan. That actually looks fairly dry, so no problems. And no problems on the roads right now. Okay, 13 after 6 o'clock. Let's get to our temperature that we have so far this morning. We're sitting at 5 degrees. Now, that's better than yesterday. Yesterday was only 3 at this time. But we do have some light rain. The winds are fairly light, west-northwest at 14. So we're going to see some sunshine today. Don't despair. I know it's a wet start, but we'll see a mix of sun and clouds and then chance of showers developing later on this afternoon again. But a 13-degree high for the day. Here's a look at our satellite radar. Satellite, of course, is cloud cover. Radar shows us the precipitation, which is in the green areas. And, of course, look, we're getting a thunderstorm popping up north shore of Lake Erie as well. So that little instability is going by us. So we have that little blast of some showers. Then we're going to see some sunshine. We could see a little more shower activity later on today, and it looks like maybe again tomorrow with a thunderstorm as a weak cold front goes through. But today, temperatures 11, 12, 13, even 15 degrees as you go around the rest of the horseshoe today. So, yeah, enjoy the sun, but still, it's a 30% chance of a shower today. Tonight, partly cloudy to clear skies. Temperatures 4, 5, and 6 degrees tonight, so kind of around where we were and where we are this morning. But tomorrow, temperatures get better. Well, not for Niagara Falls at 12, that breeze off the lake, but 16, 17, 18 degrees tomorrow, sunshine, chance of a shower, maybe even a thunderstorm later in the afternoon. So out the door on the 8th morning of May, we do have some light rain. Temperature right now is 5. Long range coming up. Annette, right?
Thanks, Brian. Coming up after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily. She'll have a preview of what's up in Chit Chat this morning. And in business news, the April labor force numbers will be released later this morning. We'll take a look at what economists are expecting. 6:17 on your Friday morning. Good morning, Emily. What is coming up in Chit Chat?
Hi, good morning. The newest trailer for Minions and Monsters has been released, and it's taking us back to the golden age of Hollywood. The Boys series finale is set to pull off a historic first for the franchise. And later on this morning, with Brantford Comic-Con taking place tomorrow, we have some of the celebrities appearing at the event, joining us right here on the couch.
Very cool.
All right, yeah, we're looking forward to that. Thanks, Emily. Taking a look at some business news this morning, the Canadian dollar is up slightly to 73.27 cents U.S. Gold is up $16 U.S. an ounce. Oil down 27 cents to $94.43 U.S. a barrel. In midday trading, the European markets are all behind this hour.
Tokyo's Nikkei came back down to earth after Thursday's record setter, and the North American markets were all down at Thursday's close, with the TSX losing 120 points.
Statistics Canada set to release its April labor force survey this morning. Economists predict the Canadian economy added about 15,000 jobs last month, while the unemployment rate held steady at 6.7%. The report follows modest job growth in March and comes as businesses deal with higher fuel costs linked to the conflict in the Middle East. It also follows last week's decision by the Bank of Canada to keep its key interest rate at 2.25% amid ongoing concerns over inflation, tariffs, and global economic uncertainty.
Air Canada is reducing more service to the United States. It is cutting seasonal flights from Toronto to Sacramento and Charleston. Flights from Vancouver to Raleigh, North Carolina, as well as from Montreal to Austin, Texas, will also be canceled. This is all because of increased jet fuel shortages and rising fuel prices because of the conflict in Iran. Air Canada says affected customers will be contacted to arrange rebooking or a refund.
Aritzia says its U.S. expansion is rapidly building customer loyalty and becoming a key driver of revenue growth. The Vancouver-based retailer says its American store openings are now a reliable source of business performance. Over the past fiscal year, Aritzia opened 14 new boutiques and renovated at least 4 others as part of its expansion strategy. The company reports net income of more than $138 million, up from $98 million in the same quarter last year.
Okay, we're taking a break right now. Brian is going to be back with traffic and your 7-day forecast. We're going to find out when it's going to warm up.
All right, Friday, we made it, 6:20, just about 6:23 here. We're looking at some wet roads. Not everybody's getting some showers, but you're getting some here in St. Catharines, QEW Ontario Street. Nothing to see there traffic-wise. Raindrops on the camera. QEW Grays Road, Toronto bound away from us toward the Skyway. Other side of the Skyway, a little slow here, north of 2. That's just past North Shore Boulevard. We'll flip ahead to the 403 QEW split junction around the Ford plant. Notice the roads are a lot drier as you go through here, and definitely dry, but no problems in traffic. 403 at Eastgate Parkway going through Mississauga. Temperatures right now sitting at 5 degrees for Hamilton, a little bit milder than it was yesterday morning. 5 for Hamilton, Grimsby, Mississauga, 6 into Toronto right now. So seasonal temperatures for this time of year, 17 for the daytime high. We haven't been there in ages. It's been rather cool for the past little while. We got to, was it 13 degrees? 11 degrees yesterday, and that was it. So Those are our sun times and our records for today. We will see some sun for the day today. We could see a little bit of sunshine, a 7-degree temperature by the first bell this morning, and then 13 for after school. Now, that's the forecast high, but there is the chance of the redevelopment of some showers later on today. So 13 today, 4 tonight. Skies will be partly cloudy. Tomorrow, 17. So we finally hit seasonal for one day. Yay. And we'll get some sun, but then there's a chance of a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon with a cold front, weak cold front that's going to go through. Mother's Day looks to be now just fairly cloudy and 13. Even cooler for Monday, some sun. Sun comes back, thankfully, Monday, Tuesday, but temperatures stay below seasonal even into the middle of next week. That's your forecast. Annette, Rick.
All right, thank you, Brian. Morning Live and Terra Greenhouses have teamed up this spring to help your gardens grow. Have a gardening-related question you would like to ask? Now is your chance.
This week's question comes from Cindy in Milton, who says, settle a debate with my spouse. Do you just bring plants out, or do you gradually expose them so they don't burn, die, then return?
So you just got home from the garden center. You're so excited to plant the things that you've got. He says, throw them all out there, it'll be fine. She says, maybe we should be a little bit careful. The right answer? You're both kind of right. So it depends on what you're planting. Perennials, for instance, are already used to being outside. So perennials that you see outside at the garden center can get planted right away. Hardy nursery stock, trees, shrubs, evergreens, these are all also completely fine to plant right away. Summer annuals and hanging baskets are getting ready to go outside after our last frost date in mid-May. And then there's the plants that we planted ourselves inside. If you've started anything from seed indoors, you need to begin a process called hardening off. And what that means is something like my snapdragons right here that I'm planting for my cut flower garden. I want to get them used to the outdoor conditions slowly. So that means on a day like this, it's perfect. It's drizzly, it's kind of gray. I can put these outside for a few hours at a time, increasing the amount of time that they go outside day by day for about a week or so that they literally harden up and get used to the outdoor conditions so that they can grow successfully without shock or burn. Hope that helps.
Submit a question to chch.com/askagardener and it could be answered right here on Morning Live.
Be watching every Friday morning at 6:25 for more tips from gardening expert Chris Moretti.